ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Friday, March 6th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. It started your weekend. We're going to catch you up on everything coming up and happening. Unfortunately, we've got to start with Marshall women's basketball. Falling to South Alabama in the fourth round Sun Belt Conference tournament. It's a disappointing loss for the Thundering Herd, 73-58. Herd now 23-9, finishing out the season. If there's any potential postseason play, we will find out after the NCAA Women's Basketball Selection Show on March 15th. But 23-9, there could be a possibility of something for the Thundering Herd. We just have to wait and see. It won't be the NCAA tournament, but there could be a possibility of something out there. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for the ladies. We will, of course, hear in just a few minutes from, unfortunately, the losing head coach in this one, Julie Folks. We'll get her comments on the loss and talk a little bit about why she thinks the Herd lost. Peyton Elderton, Blessing King also in that post game, and they were emotional. They've been with the program a while, and so the prospect of losing your last game is always emotional. I don't know if the finality of it will hit just yet, because there is, again, off chance that maybe something would make itself available for the Thundering Herd in some sort of postseason play. But we'll just have to cross our fingers, wait and see. Again, the Herd finishing on a down note to a pretty good season, 23-9. I think that this program is starting to build up some consistency. Of course, you had that tremendous year going to the NCAA tournament. And this tournament's crazy. Just absolutely crazy the way it's set up. And, of course, it sometimes favors the higher seeds, or at least that's what it's supposed to do in theory. The regular season matters, and so Thundering Herd has several days to get ready. Unfortunately, it's a little different when you start from zero and the other team is coming full throttle and it has gone on a run. It's sort of the Marshall of last year going on a run. Now, can South Alabama carry that over to James Madison tomorrow? We will see, but that would be something to watch. And you would think the rest is going to help you, but again, you look at the stats and the Thundering Herd fell short in so many places. The fouling was an issue as well for Marshall. Shooting percentage not as good as you would hope for the Thundering Herd. I mean, the free throw line contributed a lot to the score. Thundering Herd getting down in this game and then having to battle back and try to make it close. But unfortunately, that ends for the ladies. The men now will await its opponent, and that's going to be a Sunday game. We're going to have it for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So we'll be back with you on Sunday after today's show. But I do want to get the text line going. And again, that's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. And we'll get those texts coming in next few minutes, and we'll talk to you about what's happening this weekend. Of course, we've got softball, baseball coming up. Softball in action against Akron. We'll try to get you a score update before we go off the air. And we got baseball coming up. St. Bonaventure. And we'll have the Saturday game, by the way. Just don't forget that. We were going to have the women's game on Saturday, but since that's no longer a possibility, we will have the baseball game. That's coming up, 3:50 airtime tomorrow. It's our Saturday showcase. You can listen to Marshall baseball this weekend right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Ben Westfall is going to have the call of that one, so looking forward to being able to follow along with him on Saturday. So, unfortunately, there won't be a postseason title for the Thundering Herd on the women's side. The men, however, there is an opportunity for something to come about. So we'll catch you up on everything that's happening, and we will do that when we continue. Also, we'll get the text line open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I do have an update as Marshall beating Akron softball 9-1. So I've got the update there. Again, 9-1. Marshall beating Akron, their softball all this weekend at the Dot, and of course baseball as well. So you've got a lot of choices this weekend, and don't forget, Sunday it's going to be Marshall basketball right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 as the Thundering Herd awaiting its opponent, and will be competing in the semifinals starting off play, and we'll see if having so much time off is going to be a hindrance or maybe a help to the Thundering Herd. Again, there's that argument, rest versus rust. I don't think there's a correct way to go about it. Every situation's different. But as a coach, you sit and wait now for your next opponent. I know it's sort of the same way in the NCAA tournament to a degree. You kind of have at least a better idea of what you can expect in a tournament like that. But for this killer tournament, it's definitely, all right, you got to do one-day prep. Everyone's got to do one-day prep, just about. You don't have that advantage. That's the one thing. You don't have the advantage to do much prep. If you're Marshall, you kind of have an idea, like, okay, there could be a possibility it's Marshall-Troy, and you look at the bracket, and you can, of course, eliminate teams as they move along. But, again, you've seen most of these teams as well starting out, so you don't fall too far behind. You just bring up the notes, and I'll give Coach Jackson credit. He's been really thoughtful when he talks about how he journals about these games. And so I would think the journals are being referenced right now. Okay, if we play them, this is what we did right. This is what we did wrong. This is what we need to adjust. This is what they did to us. We'll have to compensate for that. Be on the lookout. I'm sure they're going to throw some different wrinkles. And again, it's a one-day prep. You know, when you're prepping for a team, you kind of got to go with the basic stuff. The fundamentals, not just, okay, we can do this. You know, you can't really come out there and have an exotic game plan. You got to have it's a solid game plan. We got to stick to these fundamentals and try to do this, and hopefully we'll win. And I think that's going to be the situation for any team in this tournament. The good news for the Thundering Herd, win 2 games and you're in the NCAA tournament. That's it. 2 games. We talked about that, and we'll continue to talk about that. And we will continue with this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, John Garten, 304-525-1116. And in Barbersville, Marcia Slater, 304-736-6100.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Hear that? That's what having fewer hot flashes and night sweats can sound like. Veoza is the #1 prescribed hormone-free treatment FDA approved for moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms, also known as hot flashes and night sweats, due to menopause. Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com.
Who are the toughest men and women in the area? Miller Lite, Coors Light, Modelo, 84 Lumber, Dutch Miller Auto Group, Huntington Drum, Wilson Welding, Fitness World, Pritchard Lawn Care, and Pam's present the 38th Annual Tough Man Contest, coming tonight at 7 p.m. to the Cam Henderson Center at Marshall University. It's Tough Man tonight at the Cam Henderson Center. Tickets at WVToughman.com or at the box office.
I still can't believe there are people out there who haven't had breakfast from Oscar's Breakfast Burgers and Brews. It's literally the second word in the name after Oscar's. Oh, I don't get up that early. Well, guess what? Breakfast is served all day. No excuses, bro. Chicken and waffles, loaded breakfast burritos, big, bold omelets, biscuits and gravy that mean business. Morning, noon, or whenever you finally wake up, breakfast is at Oscar's Breakfast Burgers and Brews. River Place Plaza, Barboursville, OscarsBBB.com.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We continue on with this Friday edition of Your Drive. Our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We got a couple of texts come in about the same thing, so I'm going to combine everything. A couple of people are asking about the playing status of Matt Van Komen. One even directly saying, I'm willing to bet Matt Van Komen is done for the season. What is your thoughts? The other text is saying, what's the playing status of Matt Van Komen? Appreciate the text. Until further notice, he's not playing. Unofficially, I think he's out. Officially, Marshall's not giving us any status updates. They do not share pretty much anything when it comes to medical updates. What we see on the sideline is what we see, but as far as any details, Marshall's not giving any injury reports, updates on status. Coach might allude to being out, but nothing is given officially. Unofficially, you saw him the last game. He's wearing the boot. I don't think he's going to be available for this tournament. Maybe surprises us all, but no, I don't believe so. So I would count him out until further notice. Maybe he comes off the bench like Superman. Remember Kurt Rambis would come off the bench? He had the Clark Kent glasses. He'd come off the bench like Clark Kent, and he was Superman. Yeah, maybe something like that would happen, but I'm saying doubtful. It'd be nice to have him out there. It really would. But you got to roll with what you got. Unfortunately, the Thundering Herd down a man with the big. Hopefully the Herd can get through the next two and get into the NCAA tournament. On the women's side, earlier today, the Thundering Herd losing to South Alabama. Unfortunate loss for the Herd, ending the season 23-9, awaiting any potential postseason play. It was a 73-58 defeat at the hands of South Alabama. South Alabama has now won 4 straight in the tournament. It's the Marshall of last year. Had a chance to join the post game shortly after the loss. Head coach Julie Folks addressing the media. She had with her Blessing King, Peyton Ilderton, and Let's hear her thoughts on the loss.
Yeah, I have our two seniors, Peyton Ilderton and Blessing King, with us. Obviously, that is never how you want the end of the season to finish. I was really proud of the effort we had this year. I just thought over the course of a 31-game season and then plus today, I thought we had a lot of really good moments. We have 6 seniors who have a lot to be proud of. This was a team that was really fun to watch. They were able to pack our gym. They obviously had a lot of fans here today. And it's just been a fantastic year, and you just hate when you have 6 seniors that they can't go out on their own terms sometimes. You know, in this time of year when games end, we talked about in the locker room, it's just one or the other. You're just incredibly elated or, you know, just devastated because this segment of your life is over. And so we have great women on this team. They have been absolute competitors. They fought through a lot this year. We weren't as healthy as we'd hoped to be down the stretch, and that just happens. But hats off to South Al. They obviously played a really good game today and hit a lot of really big shots.
All right, we'll open for questions. Coach, got one here from Zoom from Paul Swann. Could you just talk a little bit about the difference, you know, year 1 versus year 2 and how you kind of approach that?
Yeah, you know, depending on where you come in the tournament, it obviously is a really big difference. And last year, you know, we were on the track that South Alabama was on. And, you know, I just think we in some ways approach it like we always do in terms of, I thought we had a really good plan with the 3-2. We were going to need to shoot the ball better. We didn't shoot it particularly well today. And so that was really disappointing because we had a lot of really good looks, particularly in the first half. I thought we did a pretty good job on the offensive boards. We came up with 20 of them. You know, Blessing was able to come after and get a lot. In the third quarter, we adjusted well. You know, we went to a 5-out and we're able to hit some cutters and things like that. And so that's probably on me. We should have went to that sooner.
Keith Morehouse, WSAC. Coach, we talked about what you guys did last year here. That's what they're doing now. Some benefit to obviously playing, and you guys, you know, had a week to kind of sit around.
Yeah. Well, I think if you don't come out on top, you argue the other direction. But yeah, you know, I think it's a lot harder. Obviously, this is the first time you walk on the court and you play, and so if you've gotten already, you know, got a game under your belt, you've kind of already normalized a little bit. And so, you know, there's advantages, disadvantages. Obviously, you know, we should have had fresher legs, but I thought, you know, we got a lot of the stuff that we wanted. We just weren't able to execute. You know, we fouled a little too much in the third quarter when we were making a run to give them some extra possessions. But, you know, I thought overall there was a lot of good, and we did a great job. We really didn't want them shooting threes, and we held them to, you know, 4 of 10, and that was awesome. But there was too much inside.
Same thing for Peyton and Blessing. Can you kind of talk about having some rust a little bit, just waiting around? And that's not an excuse, obviously, but last year was a little different scenario for you.
I think the mindset, like, also plays a role in it. Like, we were talking about South Al. Like, we were in that position last year, so we know, like, when you've been playing, you really have nothing to lose because you've already kind of made it further than everybody expected you to. So I think, like, I wouldn't say, like Coach said, there's disadvantages and advantages of sitting around, but, like, we were on fresh legs, and they've also played 3 games. So it's just, you just got to come locked in, really.
Do you want to take a pass?
Yeah, sorry.
We're going to give her a pass on that one. Thanks, Keith.
Coach, I guess, you know, you went on the run last year. What do you think of going through? You went forward just like them into the 5th game, and for that stability, that's more limited. What do you think of going through, and what you guys went through?
Yeah, I mean, you just honestly, at this point, you're in a rhythm. You know exactly when you're watching film, what you're doing, what your next meal is, and you know exactly how the tournament's going to play out. And so that, you know, I'm sure that's where they're at right now. And now they're the ones prepping for JMU, and you just, you know, you try to keep the energy going. I think, you know, one of the things to their advantage is they're a pretty deep team. You know, they showed that yesterday, so they were able to roll a lot of players through, and they're able to attack the rim. I mean, if you look at the free throw differential, they went to the free throw line 30 times today. You know, we've been a team all year that's at the top of the country and not fouling. And so, you know, like that ability to get to the line and have that kind of depth can keep you in games. So if you look, we got 71 attempts up today and we only put up 56 points. That's, you know, 20 some below our average. You know, on a normal day for that, we're putting up 70. And so, I think for them, they're just, you go back, you ice, and you come up with the next plan, and you just keep letting the energy roll and hope it can sustain.
Blessing and Peyton, you guys have had great success. Obviously, you went to the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago, Peyton. You've had great success here. Can you just talk about the program and what Coach Folks has done with it, and before that, to lift this program up to where you guys want it to be?
You can go. Okay. I've been at Marshall for 4 years, and I'm just so blessed to have chosen Marshall and stuck it out those 4 years. I've had amazing coaches with Coach Tony Kemper, who put me on scholarship, gave me a chance. Then going to the NCAA tournament with Kim, that was something special, and not a lot of people get to do, so I'm very thankful I got that experience. And then these past 2 years with Julie have been great. I think she's taught me a lot on the court, but even more off the court. I think I'm a better person because I've had Coach Julie as a coach. I think I've learned a lot about leadership with her, so I have a lot to take away that will be great as life lessons too. Like, I'm going to be a better person because of this program. So I love Marshall. I love our fans, and I think that if all the girls that are coming back just stay here, they're going to have a great team next year too under our leadership.
So Marshall was my third school. So I've been to a couple different places, and every year I transfer, just like it was sometimes the environment, just wanting to get better for myself. But I chose to stay here last year, and I feel like that is a testament to the program we have, Coach Julie, the girls that we have, and just wanting to build something. And I think we were able to do that last year. It helped that we had me and P, and then others, some of the other seniors returning, so we could help teach new girls what to do, how to operate in the system. So I think just all around, Marshall's just a great place. Even the fans outside of basketball too. Like P said, Julie's taught us a lot. Just on the court, off the court. I never really wanted to go into coaching, but I feel like if I ever wanted to, I maybe could, just based off of what I've learned in these last 2 years. So.
Zach Brown with WCHS TV. Peyton, you went to Logan High School.
Yep.
And then, to be able to put on the jersey from your home state, and that means a lot to you.
Yeah, it does. My family got to come to all of my games. I've had an amazing support system from my family just to my community back home. So I'll forever be grateful that I chose Marshall. And I want to give back to Marshall at some point whenever I can. So this place is special, and I'm going to miss it a lot.
Grant Trailer, Marshall. Looking over the last 12 months for this team, you came here last year at 11-20, still trying to find your way, and you all really found your way here. You end this season with the third most wins in program history in a season. You have to have buy-in to be able to accomplish that. You talk about just everybody buying in from that standpoint and starting to believe in each other, and how far that's gone for you all over the last 12 months.
Yeah, I think it starts with, the players that we had returning from last year. They were really good people, and I actually think everything starts there. These are two women that want to do everything the right way. They want to show up. They want to compete, and they want to be great leaders. And I thought we had, just fantastic spring workouts last year. And then, you go through everybody else. You go through the portal. You bring in your freshmen. And we were really excited about the team we put together. And then, obviously, we had a couple injuries along the way. And I thought that was actually, though, when our real character showed, because we had to regroup and change who we were halfway through the season. And this group had so many different moments where they could have found an excuse to no longer show up and compete and find ways to win. Even Blessing had to miss a few weeks when she was out sick and had to get her legs back under her. And, Peyton's been playing, I can say it now, she's been playing on a bum knee now for the last 6 weeks. Nothing has stopped them from having excuses and different reasons that they could have said, yeah, we can't do this anymore. And they kept showing up, and we kept trying to create game plans that would play to our strengths and give us a chance every night. And they, it's every coach's dream when you put out a plan and they try to make it work and are willing to buy in and do it. And, as a group, we've had a lot of success that way. But it starts with, we have a group of women who work really hard. They're super coachable. They want to learn. They want to be better, and they want to do it for each other. And, I'm really blessed to have coached them all, especially these two. But, all 6 seniors are really special people.
It's really cool to look at the two different dynamics. You talked about you've been in state your entire career, and I've gotten to see a lot of that. And Blessings come in, and the culture, the two different perspectives for you all. How special is the Marshall community based on those different perspectives that you all see?
I mean, if you come to one of our home games compared to other Sunbelt schools, our crowd is amazing. And we have people that show up to our practice every single day. Even last year when we didn't have a good record, we had the same people at our practice every single day, no matter what. So it just is a testament to how loyal our fans are. Through the ups and downs, they're still going to show up for us. So I just think that that's amazing, and it's not something that you see everywhere.
And with me being a transfer last year, like, I would say the Marshall community embraced me fully. Like, I've seen them do that with our transfers this year too. Like, I love how they treat you like you've been here all your years. They come support you. They like cheer you on even outside of basketball. They want to help you. Like, and if you're struggling, everybody's just a family here, and I've loved that.
Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really challenging, and I think all postseasons, you start to at this time of the year, kind of what matchups might be really beneficial for your team and things that might be harder. And so some of it is this is a league that has unbelievable talent and a lot of really good teams. And then some of it is you get put in matchups, you're like, that could be a great matchup for us, and this could be a tough matchup for us. And so I think some of it, it's both sides. There's a lot of really talented teams. At this point, you've played each other. People have started to figure things out. But whoever comes out is obviously going to represent us really well in the NCAA tournament. And there's a lot of really good basketball yet to be played in the Sun Belt.
Head coach Julie Folks, Blessing King, and Peyton Ilderton, their potentially final matchup as representatives of the Thundering Herd as postseason play. Not out of the question. It will not be the NCAA tournament, so if there's any opportunities out there, the Thundering Herd will find out after the NCAA women's basketball selection show. Herd falls to 23-9. It was a 73-58 loss to South Alabama. Very tough to see the Thundering Herd go down. We had a lot of hope that this team could maybe break through. You get to start a few days later, and you don't have to go as far to get to the championship. Now it's on the men. First action for the men on Sunday, waiting the tournament results to catch up to Saturday night so Marshall can plan ahead. We'll find out who the Thundering Herd will possibly have on Saturday. Of course, we're going to have that game for you. No matter what, it's going to be the late game. We've got it for you on Sunday right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Cold weather's on its way. And what do you want on those cold, chilly evenings? A warm blanket and a hot cup of cocoa. Well, you know who else wants the same comfort? Mice. Messy, uninvited guests. They sneak in and leave droppings, chew through your food and packages. Don't let mice take over your home this fall and winter. Call K&B Pest Control. We will kill for your business. Call today, 304-523-4281.
Looking for something fun, educational, and free? Discover everything happening at Greenup County Public Library. From children's story time and hands-on crafts to exciting tween and teen programs designed just for them. There is something for every age. Adults can enjoy fitness classes like Refit, homesteading workshops, book clubs, and special guest programs throughout the year. With activities at the Greenup and Flatwoods branches, the library is more than books. Visit greenuplib.com for more exciting events.
Injured in a fall? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
Kindred Communications is proud to welcome WSAZ to our family of stations. When you listen to your favorite Kindred station, you'll hear the trusted voices from WSAZ you know, with the WSAZ First Alert, forecast, and the latest news. WSAZ and Kindred Communications, working together for the Tri-State. Is your car ready for winter driving? Now's the time to let TikTok Tire winterize your car, truck, or SUV. They got what you need. Tires, wipers, batteries, all ready to beat the cold before it beats you. Don't wait for a breakdown in the snow. TikTok Tire will get you fall and winter driving ready.
Their customer service can't be beat. TikTok Tire, trusted by the Tri-State since 1955. TikTok Tire, 2102 3rd Avenue, Huntington. Phone 304-525-7831. Scott and the TikTok Tire team will take care of you.
All right, fellas, 2 words for you. Prostate exam. Did your butt just clench up? Are you imagining the finger right now? Well, you can relax. Prostate cancer screening starts with a simple, finger-free blood test. Around 1 in 8 men in the United States will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. But that's no reason to reclench. When caught early, at localized or even regional stage, prostate cancer can have over a 99% 5-year relative survival rate. Did your tight end just relax? Good. If you're 40 or older and have a prostate, visit RelaxIt'sABloodTest.com to find out if a PSA blood test is right for you. The PSA blood test can be the first step in screening. Talk to your doctor to evaluate your risk, determine when to get tested, and discuss screening options and next steps. That's RelaxIt'sABloodTest.com. Sponsored by Novartis.
Welcome back to The Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, couch purring, bed leaping, and of course, companionship.
Wonderful. And what breed would you say Nico is?
I'd have to go with a tabbyish Persian kind of mix.
Tremendous cat.
I'd also like to point out her coat's wonderful mix of colors. Is it black, gray, gray-black, brown?
Somewhere in between.
Indeed.
You know, it's always special when we get to see a cat like this.
Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And how she's so incredibly cute in her indifference to commands.
A strong-willed feline.
Ah, and see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
I know. Fantastic cat.
Fantastic indeed. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue on with this Friday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. If you keep an eye on socials, keep an eye on the Marshall baseball socials. I've got it from Ben Westfall, who's going to be calling the game for us tomorrow. He's telling me that the game, weather-wise, is being moved up. So if you are heading to the baseball game tonight, tomorrow, keep an eye on the socials, of course. A beautiful day today here in Huntington, and that's expected to change. We'll have that game no matter what right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So while we're here, we've been following what's been going on with Louisiana Tech. Of course, Louisiana Tech's due to be a member of the Sun Belt no later than next year. And it was anticipated that possibly it would be a member this year. We don't have a schedule yet. And I think part of the holdup is because Louisiana Tech's trying to get out of Conference USA. And so it looks like Conference USA filed a response to Louisiana Tech's lawsuit asking a Louisiana judge for a hearing while making an intriguing argument, according to Ross Dellinger. Says that the USA says granting an immediate injunction would mean that Tech's games in the Conference USA basketball tournament tomorrow couldn't be broadcast. And so it looks like a quick decision, again, according to Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports, and his reporting says that the Louisiana judge has granted Conference USA's request for a hearing and for now denied a temporary restraining order sought by Louisiana Tech. The hearing is set for March 19th. So this is getting interesting as far as the leagues. And it's not really Sun Belt beefing with Conference USA. It's Louisiana Tech beefing with Conference USA. It's not been a good run for Conference USA. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Something else that just came out, and I wasn't going to play it. I'm tempted to now. It'd be in its raw form. I might save it for Monday. It just depends on how far this goes. But the Sun Belt Conference issued a public reprimand and a fine to South Alabama Athletic Director Joel Erdman for comments related to officiating following the Jaguars' win over Coastal Carolina during the tournament. The comments violated Sunbelt Constitution and Bylaw 10.5.4a, which states, member institution personnel, including student athletes, shall not make derogatory comments or demonstrate negative reaction about officiating to any source or sources. The Sun Belt Conference considers this matter concluded and will have no further comment. Of course, South Alabama continuing its run in the tournament, defeating the Herd. But a couple of days ago, and I had to explain this to a couple of people, like, yeah, Marshall's taking on South Alabama. That was the team that got into the fight. And instantly, a lot of people knew what I was talking about. But of course, they're tough and resilient. They had a lot of people miss that game against Texas State. And this is the official statement from Director of Athletics, Dr. Joel Erdman. I'm going to read it all to you. You tell me. Statement reads, the Sun Belt Conference has notified us that student athletes Amaya Sutton, Daniela Gonzalez, and Credasia Harris have been suspended for Thursday's Sun Belt Conference tournament game against Texas State as a result of the incident that occurred during Wednesday's game against Coastal Carolina. This suspension occurred after the officiating crew ruled that the incident was classified as a fight. The University of South Alabama does not condone fighting under any circumstance. The incident that took place during Wednesday's game is extremely unfortunate and unacceptable. We will use this as an opportunity to learn and grow in our efforts to become better in the future. That being said, I am the first to acknowledge that college basketball officials have an extremely challenging and thankless job. We are greatly concerned about the official that was injured during the game. However, after an extensive internal review, I do not believe the actions of all three of our student athletes rose to the level of being classified as fighting as defined by the NCAA rulebook. The judgment has negatively impacted the tournament experience of our suspended student athletes and stripped them of limited opportunities to compete in the postseason. Though I strongly disagree with the judgment of the officials, we will accept the decision from the Sun Belt Conference and turn our focus on supporting Coach Jackson and her team in tomorrow's tournament game against Texas State. So that was the statement that was released. Now, do you think by any stretch of the imagination that was a tremendous dig at the officials? Fine, an undisclosed amount, by the way, according to reporting on this one. I don't think this was negative or derogatory by any stretch of the imagination again. What did he say that was that derogatory. He's like, I don't believe that our students rose the actions. I don't believe it. He's basically saying that. He didn't say, he's like, I disagree with the judgment of the officials. He was concerned about the official that was injured. Said, look, I don't agree with this. It's impacted our student athletes, their experience. I don't believe that this fight, if you call it a fight, rose to the levels. And so he releases this statement. The Sun Belt comes out and says, nope, you have been reprimanded. And I'm sure that there's an undisclosed fine here. Again, following the reporting on this one. And you wonder why coaches don't tell us anything. And you wonder why. When you try to ask a coach something, coach is like, I can't say anything. Give me a status on players. They're not talking about injuries. What do you think about the officiating? I can't comment on that. I mean, coach, you got mugged out there tonight with your team. What do you think? Can't say anything. I asked about in the Zoom, you heard it earlier. I asked a question virtually. I asked two. One got through. Now, I'm not saying I was cut off or censored here, but I asked about the disparity in the free throws. I would have probably asked that in person if I had a chance. And, I know Julie kind of addressed it in her remarks a little bit about, hey, we fouled too much here. And I was kind of looking for that. But, what else could she have said? Like, you know what? We got mugged out there. Yeah, the officials were letting things go, or the officials, were really blowing the whistle on us. I mean, she can't say that kind of stuff. And you see why now. So I don't follow this as being derogatory. I really think that this is a stretch. 304-396-TALK is the text line, 304-396-8255. That is our line to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Saving money on your next painting project with Menards. Get a paint that combines gorgeous color and durability. Dutch Boys Platinum Plus is a paint and primer with a protective finish that guards against scuffs, spills, and stains. Get $15 off instantly on a single qualifying purchase of $100 or more on Dutch Boy and Purdy products. Now through March 8th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Ready to kick off your next home project? Get a head start at the WSAZ Home and Garden Show. We'll be there with the experts to answer your home improvement questions. And we're doing something new and taking our studio on the road. We'll deliver your news and weather live from the show. Come join us, see what's new, get inspired for spring, and leave with ideas you can use right away. Everything you're looking for, all under one roof. The WSAZ Home and Garden Show, March 13th, 14th, and 15th at Marshall Health Network Arena.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
It's the annual Kiwanis Pancake Festival. You've enjoyed it as a child. Now it's time to share the Pancake Festival with your entire family. Some Kiwanis members have served pancakes for over 50 years. Pancake Patty will be a hit with the kids. Let's get together on Saturday, March 21st from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the New Baptist Church on 28th Street in Huntington. More raffles, more fun, and you can win a $500 gift card from TikTok Tire. Advance tickets are available at community retailers or at the door. Plan to spend Saturday, March 21st at the annual Kiwanis Pancake Festival, Huntington's favorite family reunion.
I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much, for taking me out to the park, for reading me books, for taking
me to the doctor when I broke my foot in ballet rehearsal,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for having the chance to take you to the park, for reading you those books we enjoy so much, for being able to take you to your therapies after you twisted your ankle, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. And in your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one. Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP. We help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talkline, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with this Friday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's go back to the text line. This is an interesting one. Texter says, I just tuned in, been watching President Trump's meeting with several dozen movers and shakers and a Save College Athletics meeting. Do you know of anyone at Marshall following this? I'm going to say no at the moment, only because I would think right now the focus for the Thundering Herd administration has been the basketball team. There's a lot of things going on right now. We've got softball, we've got baseball happening on, so a lot of the personnel that try to make that happen have been focused in on that. You've got a lot of personnel taking care, of course, Marshall on the road, the women losing today, being eliminated from the tournament. The men will compete on Sunday. A lot of travel going on there as well. So I'm going to say no, not yet if there is any movement on this. I do know that current NCAA athletes were not invited to this roundtable. A lot of people that were invited to this, I'm just scanning the list right now. You've got Val Ackerman, the Big East commissioner, Charlie Baker, NCAA president. You have Jim Clements. Remember Jim, former Clemson and West Virginia president? You have Ron DeSantis there. Scott Dolson, Indiana's athletic director, is there. I'm trying to see if there's anyone else of note. Let's see. ESPN's represented. Jim Phillips, ACC commissioner's represented. Big Ten's represented. Commissioner there. Greg Sankey, of course, Sankey is invited. SEC commissioner. You know he's there. Eric Shanks, Fox Sports CEO. Adam Silver is there, NBA commissioner. Clay Travis, Outkick, for those of you that follow his coverage, is there. Brett Yormick, Big 12 commissioner. The Mountain West is represented there. Urban Meyer is there. Lou Lamoriello, former New York Islanders general manager of hockey here. So there's a lot of people that were invited to this. I did not get an invitation. I was not invited to this round table. Tiger Woods was apparently invited and didn't attend. Tim Tebow was invited. Tony Dungy, Mac Brown were invited, not able to attend. And Randy Levine, New York Yankees president, was there. This whole roundtable, and again, I didn't get a chance to follow this because I was doing other things today, following the herd, obviously, and of course, I had to take care of some personal business as well, attending a friend's viewing today. So I was really out of it as far as I jumped right into the Marshall basketball game. So I had not followed this as well, but it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this, if this is just a discussion or if there's anything in the planning here. There are a lot of people that are involved. How would you save college sports? How would you save it? I'm curious to see what kind of things that came out of this that could possibly be enacted. And so, no, I don't think anyone from Marshall is there. Someone said Nick Saban is there in the text line. Okay. I mean, you're gonna talk to someone about college football, and Nick Saban's a good one. I think Nick Saban would still be coaching if it wasn't for the fact that the system just changed. And I'm not saying he's scared. I'm saying he probably didn't want to put up with a lot of it. He probably did not want to deal with the change of what's going on. I mean, you try to put together a team, and then all of a sudden that team changes yearly. And I'm not talking about players graduating. I'm talking about just I don't like it here. I'm leaving. Okay, I get that. That's fine. And so you leave, but you get to start somewhere immediately. And that transfer portal was insane until it at least got locked down a little bit. Yeah, I don't like it here in the spring. I'm going to go somewhere else. And I'm not against student athletes having the opportunity to maximize value, create value. I'm stealing again from Coach Huff. But I'm not so sure that I like this system as it is because it doesn't prioritize what college athletics was supposed to be about. And it was supposed to be about offering a way for, one, you can continue your athletic endeavors and you can benefit from them with the promise of an education that then you can translate into something else. And of course, if pro sports seem to be your calling and you can make it, all the better. I'm curious to see. And of course, I think the television dollars have really impacted a lot of this because it's just out of control. And with all of that said, I'll be back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.